I have found a fractal which is indicating that Bitcoin is about to create another massive run up towards the upside, and I am very convinced this is going to be playing out. So I'm going to be talking about this fractal, but not alone this fractal, because there are many other signals right now in this market which are telling us that there is something big happening. Well, the stock market is setting new all-time highs, Bitcoin is still down here, but I do believe this is not for long, because there are a lot of developments happening in the market right now which needs attention, and I'm gonna be explaining it on today's update video. It's a different kind of video, but I would highly recommend you to watch this, and I will be going in depth about all the most important stuff. So without any further ado, guys, don't forget to slap that like button back above 1000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. Let me start this video off with discussing this massive fractal, and on the right side you can see the gold chart, and on the left side you can see the Bitcoin chart, and I put my face cam this time on the top left so you can see this entire chart. So what basically is happening is that gold has seen a very similar consolidation like Bitcoin is currently seeing, and we're seeing a very similar fake out like Bitcoin is currently creating as well. So first of all, we can see that we created that all-time high, and it took us months for Bitcoin, even years actually, for Bitcoin to reach this level again. For Bitcoin, it literally took a decade to be reaching this level, but you can see a similar phase of reaccumulation, a similar phase of a bottom structure getting formed, and a massive fake out, of course. And you can see this similar structure of a reaccumulation towards the upside for gold, and you can see this second reaccumulation phase before we're going to be crushing it towards new all-time highs, which gold is also exactly doing at this moment of time. So what is happening with Bitcoin? Because many people are starting to get afraid that the bull market is potentially over, but personally I think that we're in a very similar phase, just like gold was a couple weeks ago. So you can currently see that Bitcoin, of course, is in the midst of this consolidation phase, and just like gold, while it was consolidating, it broke out towards the lower side below this very important level of support, and that is where it actually found its bottom. And what is Bitcoin doing right now? It is doing something exactly the same. It of course created that low. Everyone said if we go below this low, we're gonna be crushing towards the downside. We're gonna be falling lower. But I don't believe this is happening. I believe that we're also seeing the bottom this time around getting created for Bitcoin. And I'm recording this video one day in advance, so maybe Bitcoin is already higher than it currently is sitting because we bounced up higher, or we're maybe sitting a little bit lower, still in this orange box here. But anyways, if we're still consolidating in this orange box, I believe still that this is ultimately a very good accumulation zone. And just like gold, I don't expect Bitcoin is going to be escaping this level within a day. No, this sometimes can take weeks potentially, or sometimes even days of accumulation, reaccumulation before we're going to be bouncing back higher. And just like you can see here on the weekly time frame, what gold did afterwards is basically recover towards the top side of the region, then see another slight rejection, and then bounce above it. And I think that will be a very plausible scenario, because then on the weekly time frame as well, you're creating that inverse head and shoulders pattern, and that ultimately would be looking very good for Bitcoin. So yeah, I think a bounce back towards the range highs is going to be likely for Bitcoin, especially if you're considering the fact of all the things that are currently happening. So first of all, we of course have the ETF, and maybe you think, oh, you talk so much about the ETF, I don't want to hear any more about it. But what you have to understand is that right now, BlackRock has already bought more than 307,000 Bitcoin. And on the Monday of this week, they bought more than $300 million worth of Bitcoin. Guys, they're buying millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin almost every single day. They are not going to stop it. And the ETF is basically legitimizing Bitcoin for the longer perspective. So Bitcoin is here to stay. And yes, later this week, maybe it is already launched, but later this week or beginning next week, we are going to have the spot Ethereum ETF launching. Because yes, right now, all the issuers have filed for the spot Bitcoin, have right now filed for the final S1 Ethereum ETF. That basically, if it will be getting approved, they basically will go live. And this is inevitably going to be happening because the other one is already accepted. So yeah, we're expecting that the trading of the spot Ethereum ETF is going to go live probably on Monday, or potentially even tomorrow on Friday. So yeah, things are looking very good for the market, and this is overall going to spark more confidence in the market as well. And as more confidence is going to come back in towards the market, we're not only going to see Ethereum rise because the Ethereum ETF is going to go live, but also Bitcoin is gonna be rising again here. And if you've been following the channel, you know that I'm currently in a 1.6 million US dollar long position on Bitcoin, like you can see over here. You can see $1.6 million of quantity, and you can see that I'm currently in a 62,000 US dollar profit. And guys, if you want to be trading yourself, you can right now go to the link description of today's video, and if you press on this link right here, you can currently claim a free 500 US dollar trade for only depositing $100 in your first 7 days of creating your account. So if you're interested in trading, make sure to check it out in the link description of today's video. But at the same time, while we're creating this reaccumulation phase, which you can see right here, we're also doing something else. And what I'm talking about is that we're currently creating this bullish divergence on the daily time frame, but more importantly, we're creating a massive divergence on the classic stock market, and more importantly, on the NASDAQ 100. So Bitcoin and the NASDAQ have always literally walked a little bit hand in hand with each other. But right now, we are seeing that we're diverging. Bitcoin is going lower and the NASDAQ is actually going exponential. So what has Bitcoin got to do next? It has got some catching up to do here. And the last time we have seen such kind of a divergence was actually over here. This was the last time. Bitcoin actually went down, the NASDAQ pumped up higher, then we had a correction, Bitcoin also, and then boom, Bitcoin went towards new all-time highs. And also late 2023, we've seen such kind of a divergence. Bitcoin went sideways, the NASDAQ went higher, and then also Bitcoin did the catching up again here. So eventually, I do believe that the Bitcoin price action is going to catch up again with the stock market, because as the stock market is increasing, we're going to see higher valuations and also more money widely available, and that is ultimately going to cause Bitcoin to go higher. And if you're then going to compare the Bitcoin price action against the NASDAQ, it's making up a very interesting view. So this is the chart from the Bitcoin price action compared to the NASDAQ. And this is basically showing us how strongly Bitcoin is actually performing compared to the NASDAQ. And you can see that currently we are very close towards that previous all-time high of 2018, but ultimately we're seeing that growth in Bitcoin, right? We're seeing this significant dump right now here compared to the stock market, but this is basically the mean price where Bitcoin tends to be bouncing from. And ultimately, due to those ETFs, we're expecting that the Bitcoin price action is going to be growing faster than the stock market. So I do think that we're going to be getting that bounce back higher. And of course, that all-time high is that ultimate resistance we need to be breaking above of, which you can clearly see is this box of resistance. So currently we're coming back towards this mean price, which is that previous all-time high in 2017. And of course, is also the level where we bounced from many times before. I do believe this is going to be a big level of support where we're going to be bouncing from. You can see that currently we are already starting to create somewhat of a bottom here against the stock market. And yeah, I do really think it is going to be likely that we're going to be seeing that next turn towards the upside, considering the fact, like I said it earlier in the video, Bitcoin is here to stay due to the fact we have these spot ETFs. So there's money constantly flowing in, and we got recognized by the US government. We got recognized by the US stock market. We are trading over there. So ultimately, it's going to be growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And we know for sure for all the people that said, oh, Bitcoin is not here to stay, it is going to stay due to those ETFs. And that is why I think that ultimately the long-term growth is going to be here. And that is why I do still believe that Bitcoin is a good buy and we are going to be going higher. And that is also one of the reasons why I opened up that 1.6 million US dollar long position. And if you're looking at the weekly time frame, guys, we're creating a hidden bullish divergence on the weekly chart, on the 10-day chart also. Like, we're creating it on all different time frames, and Bitcoin is just looking extremely strong right now here. The RSI came down significantly, the market cooled off significantly, the fear returned in the market, the liquidity is still laying above us. So ultimately, we've got so much work. We've got so much potential to grow higher. So yeah, this was it for me in today's update video. It was a different kind of video than normal, but if you did enjoy it, don't forget to slap that like button on today's update video. I truly hope you did enjoy it. So see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.